also. But as a manager, our communication should be very very depend, and whatever that communication way from your side will be consider what is the role of that particular manager, or whatever they are following ethics, or whatever the leadership style. Okay, so all the factors are depend on the communication. So communication is a very basic and very important part while working in industry, okay, or any organization. Okay, so now communication is a basic process of creating and sharing ideas, information, views, facts, feelings, etc. Okay, among the people to reach the common understanding. Without communication, we can't do anything, because the signal or whatever the message we have to transfer, that message should be accessible, or which message should be read by that particular person. Okay, without reading or without understanding that message, they can't start the work. Okay, now whatever the gap between the communication will also dangerous for the communication process. Okay, the manager must communicate his direction effectively to the subordinate to get the work done from the whatever the properly work will be done. Is it right? So communication is a important for the organization management. Okay, so already we have discussed all the points. Communication is a transfer of information from a sender to receiver. Okay, so who is the sender or who is the receiver? Now here the feedback is also important. Okay, whenever you are doing, I am giving information through online lecture. Okay, but whether I am reaching to each and everyone. Okay, so feedback is very important. Okay, so that purpose, that sender and receiver transformation of the information from the sender to the receiver is nothing but the communication. Okay, now actually process, what is the process? The communication process is made up of four keys, four key components. Which components are there? Encoding, medium of transmission, decoding, and feedback. Okay, what is a encoding? Encoding is nothing but the whichever accessible language of that particular subordinates. Okay, because in generally in our India or in overall world, okay, some exceptions may be there. Now English language are used for the whatever the management. Is it right? But some area or some regions may not allow the English. Okay, so according to that particular culture, whatever that particular area of that work culture. Okay, so you have to use the communication language. Okay, now encoding is nothing but we have to transfer our language, our message into the receiver's message. Okay, is it right? So this is a very important. Huh? So generally we are all are from the Marathi background. Okay, but all the teaching, whatever the our overall education is with the help of English only. Okay, so what we want to convert? So encoding is nothing but while communicating, okay, while speaking, we are converting our Marathi message to the English. Is it right? Whatever we want to say. Okay, so first of all I will so all are okay, I will not take my example, but all the factors, okay, are following that point. Okay, they are thinking in Marathi language and they are converting into in English language. Okay, so converting our message from Marathi to the English is nothing but encoding. Why? Because the next person is required the English language. Okay, they are knowing the English language. So that purpose we are encoding our language from Marathi to English. Medium of the transmission, which medium is there? Okay, now we are speaking, or this lecture is online. Okay, a telephonic you can say that. Okay, or video interview you can say that. Now this is the medium of transformation. Signal, face to face communication may be there, verbal communication may be there, written communication may be there. Okay, so there are different types of. Now medium of communication is a very also important. ओके, आता फोन केला आणि 100 वेळा रेंज खर 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 करते, चालतंय का? सो दॅट विल बी व्हेरी डिफिकल्ट टू transfer the overall message. Okay, so medium of transmission is also very important. Is it right? किंवा एखाद्या मॅनेजर झाला तुम्ही समजा, तुमचा आवाजच निघत नाही कशातून किती ओरडलं तरी. Okay, so that will be very difficult. Okay, so for that purpose we have to change the medium of the transmission. You have to take mic. Okay, use mic, whatever the speaker. So whatever, these are the medium of transmission. So that point we have to consider. Okay, now the manager होणार इंडस्ट्रीमध्ये एकदम टॉप पोझिशनला असणार आणि त्याचा आवाजच निघत नाही, काय लोकांना बोललेलंच कळत नाही. ओके, सो दॅट विल बी व्हेरी डिफिकल्ट. ओके, त्यामुळे कोणाचा आवाज लहान असेल तर मोठा करायला प्रयत्न करा. इज इट राईट? हां. So decoding is nothing but the again transmission. So for example, whatever the language, so next person or the receiver. Okay, so receiver, we don't know na which is a language preferred by that receiver. Okay, but English is a first of all standard and whatever the acceptable throughout the world or throughout that industry. Okay, so they will again convert whatever the English language to that his own language. Okay, so this is also again decoding. ओके, मराठीत आपण बोलणार, ते इंग्लिशमध्ये सांगणार, तो इंग्लिशमध्ये ऐकणार आणि त्याच्या भाषेमध्ये कन्वर्ट करणार. ओके, सो दिस इज नथिंग बट द डिकोडिंग. अँड whenever the message will reach to that particular person, okay, so they will think on that and they will take or they will give the feedback. Okay, so last point is the feedback. This is also very important factor while communication is there. Okay, आता तासभर झालं माझे लेक्चर चालू आहे, झालं सगळं झालं, लेक्चर संपलं, शेवटी कोणतरी म्हणते की सर तुम्ही अनम्यूट होता, झालं बोंबलायचं आता. ओके, सो दॅट विल बी व्हेरी डिफिकल्ट. सो फीडबॅक इज ऑल्सो व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट. इज इट राईट? सो वेदर आय एम reaching to each and every one people. Okay, so that factor is also very important. Okay, now there are also two other factors in process. Those two factors are present in the form of sender and receiver. This sender and receiver, there are the basic 2 points. Is it right? Now communication mode, there are basically 3 modes: upward, downward communication, horizontal and diagonal communication. Okay, already we have discussed the structure or organization structure of organization. Okay, structure of organization we already studied. So there are communication methods. Suppose in same branch, okay, or in same department, whatever the communication is there is nothing but upward and downward communication. Okay, or we can say that the communication in between managerial level to the subordinates. Okay, this is nothing but the upward downward communication. Okay, so that type of MCQs may be asked in examination. So horizontal is nothing but the same level manager or same level faculty will communicate with each other, is nothing but the horizontal communication. Is it right? Subordinate to the subordinate, manager to manager, CO to CO is nothing but the horizontal communication. And diagonal is nothing but, suppose we can say that the diagonal. Suppose subordinate will communicate with other department of head. Okay, or other department of head will communicate with the other department of the subordinates. Okay, so this is the communication modes. Now next very important point is types of communication. Is it right? Now basically there are 2 types: verbal and non-verbal. Okay, again that verbal, oral, written and non-verbal. Okay, basic 3 types are there: verbal and non-verbal. Again verbal, oral and written, and third is the non-verbal. Okay, we can say that basic 3 types: written communication, oral communication, non-verbal communication. Okay, in oral communication, speaking and listening. Is it right? Communication, oral communication is, or we can say that the face-to-face communication. Okay, who is a sender is nothing but speaker or speaking. Okay, and who is a receiver? Receiver will listen. Okay, whenever at the time of feedback, receiver will come as a speaker and whatever the sender will become as a speaker. Okay, so that will be vice versa. So oral communication is speaking and listening. Next is the written communication: written, writing, reading. Okay, again whatever the sender, who is sending message is the nothing but writer. Okay, and who is receiving message or who is a listener is nothing but the reader. Okay, so there are basic types. And non-verbal. Okay, this is a very important communication medium. Okay, while working in organization. Okay, whatever your behavior, whatever your Also we can say that there are different factors are listed here. Okay, so facial expression. Okay, so how the face is there. ओके, म्हणजे कधी कोणा त्याकडे बघितलं तर त्या माणसाचा रागच येतो, असं असतं बघा. ओके, दॅट शुड नॉट बी देअर. म्हणजे फ्रेश, यू शुड बी फ्रेश. म्हणजे आपल्याला काय 200 वर्ष जगायचं नाही, बरोबर का? किती वर्ष जगणार आहे आपण? काय ठराविक असेल, माहीत नाही कोणाचं. आत्ता जाऊ शकतो कोण पण, बरोबर का? जाऊ नये आता कोण पण. देअर इज नो एनी लिमिटेशन और वॉट एव्हर द गॅरंटी. ओके, सो वी हॅव टू एन्जॉय अवर लाईफ. ओके, वॉट एव्हर द फेशियल एक्सप्रेशन. ओके, नाहीतर साधा काय काहीतरी बाबा धोका दिला कोणतरी, असंच असणार नेहमी चेहरा. ओके, सो दॅट विल बी व्हेरी डिफिकल्ट. इज इट राईट? सो फेशियल एक्सप्रेशन इज अ व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट. ओके, एखादा गुड मॉर्निंग म्हणाला, हां तिकडे तोंड करून जायचं निघून झालं. व्हॉट विल बी द युअर रोल देअर. ओके, सो what they another person will think. Okay, so we have to change our facial expression. ओके, आता हे कोणा कुठं तुम्हाला शिकायला मिळणार नाही बरं का. सो वी आर व्हेरी लकी. ओके, सो वी आर स्टडिंग दिस सब्जेक्ट. ओके, इन अकॅडमिक्स. दिस विल चेंज युअर एंटायर लाईफ ऑल्सो. ओके, सो म्हणजे माझा आवडता सब्जेक्ट हा IQM. ओके, म्हणायचं असेल लोकांना वाटतं थेरॉटिकल सब्जेक्ट, पण भरपूर शिकण्यासारखं आहे याच्यामध्ये. ओके, सो एंटायर लाईफ ऑफ एनी स्टुडंट ऑर एनी पर्सन विल मे चेंज. इज इट राईट? जर मनापासून जर लक्ष दिलं तुम्ही, तर डेफिनेटली यू विल बी द great manager. Okay, at the time of starting first lecture I have told that. Okay, so at the end of this subject you will be able to, or we will be considered as a good manager. Is it right? So this is our target, so we have to reach up to that target. Okay, so this is also an important factor in non-verbal communication. Okay, non-verbal is nothing but oral and written, expected from oral and written. So facial expression we already discussed. Is it right? So everyone we should consider. Okay, so at the time of communication your facial expression may be should be very important role. Okay, फ्रेश राहायला शिका. ओके, नेहमी. ते नाही तर नेहमी काहीतरी दुष्काळात असल्यासारखं नको आहे. ओके, हा एनी डाऊट? काय? हां, ओके. हां, अनम्यूट. रोल नंबर 31. So now facial expression. Next is a gesture. What is a gesture? Gesture is nothing but whatever the your expressions. Okay, first of all we have discussed the facial expression. Now gesture is nothing but overall expression. Now expression of your hand. Okay, whatever you are walking. ओके, whatever. म्हणजे असं पण असतं बघा, आता एखादा कार्यकर्ता असतो बोलताना, ते बोलण्यापेक्षा हातच जास्त हलवतो. ओके, इकडे 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 करणार, सगळा एरिया कव्हर करणार, बरोबर का? ते राज ठाकरे म्हणतात तसं, टेम्पो धुतल्यासारखं. ओके, सो gesture is also important factor. Okay, so what is in Marathi language we can say that whatever the हावभाव. Is it right? Whatever the म्हणजे हां, आपण मराठीत काय म्हणतो तर बघा, जे बोलतो किंवा लिहितो हे सोडून जे असते त्याला काय म्हणतो, दॅट ऑल विल बी कन्सिडर इन द गेस्चर. ओके, सो गेस्चर ऑफ वाईल कम्युनिकेशन शुड बी very great, or whatever the acceptable by the people, or whatever the organization. Okay, so gesture is also very important. Is it right? Now whatever your which uniform you are wearing. ओके, नाही तर आता बघा बऱ्याच गोष्टी तुम्ही जर लक्षात आणले तर हसून हसून पोट दुखल आपलं, बरोबर का? कोणाची कशी युनिफॉर्म असताय, कोण कसे येते. इज इट राईट? हां, आता ह्या गोष्टी काय बारीक बारीक सांगत नाही मी. बरोबर का. सो म्हणजे प्रत्येक गोष्ट हे इम्पॉर्टंट आहे बघा. तुमचं जर काय म्हणतो फर्स्ट एक काय म्हणतो जाऊ द्या. So very little points, okay, so that should be considered while वर्किंग इन ऑर्गनायझेशन. ओके, गेस्चर पॉईंट म्हणजे युनिफॉर्म कसा आहे, बरोबर का. सो वॉट एव्हर द क्लिनलीनेस, ओके, सो ऑल द फॅक्टर्स आर देअर important. Body language, okay, body language will also take a very huge role. Hmm? So whatever the body language, if you consider while communicating in organization, okay, so whatever the body language should be, you have to consider that body language which should be acceptable by um, organization or whatever the subordinates. Okay, now next is the proximity. Is it right? Proximity, na? Now proximity is nothing but the we can say that proximity in is nothing but what we can say that काय म्हणतो आपण, शेजारी शेजारी व्यक्ती असतो तुमचा. सो युअर कलिग वी कॅन से दॅट. ओके, प्रॉक्झिमिटी, हाऊ वी आर, एखादा तुम्हाला जर दिसला काय, जसं आपण पहिल्यांदा म्हटलं की एखादा माणूस दिसला तर त्याला राग येतो लगेच आपल्याला, बरोबर का. राग आला जाऊन लगेच त्याला दर 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 फायरिंग करायची. ओके, सो दॅट शुड नॉट बी देअर. ओके, म्हणजे तुमचा शेजारी असेल वॉट एव्हर द कलिग. ओके, सो वी हॅव टू कन्सिडर दॅट प्रॉक्झिमिटी ऑल्सो. ओके, सो हाऊ वी कॅन, म्हणजे शेजार धर्म म्हणतो आपण, बरोबर का. शेजार धर्म पाळला पाहिजे, नाही रोज उठून भांडणं करत बसायचे यायची. इज इट राईट? दॅट विल बी व्हेरी डिफिकल्ट बिकॉज वी आर वर्किंग इन one family. Okay, so you should be mixed with each other. Definitely your entire work will also happy, or both you will be happy. Okay, so that is also very important. Touch, okay, touch is also very important factor. Now is nothing but whatever your for example handshakes. Okay, नाहीतर एखाद्याला सवय असते हँडशेक हातात दिला ते हात उपसून काढते, काय वाटतं, बरोबर का. असं काय ते एकदा हात दे, एक बघा असतील लोक कसे तुमचे असतील कार्यकर्ते काय काय. ओके, म्हणजे ना व्हॉट एव्हर दॅट वेन एव्हर द टचिंग मुवमेंट्स आर देअर. ओके, सो दॅट शुड बी वी हॅव टू कन्सिडर. ओके, नाहीतर ते बघा पुन्हा काहीतरी गेला कुठं तोंड धुवून आलाय, तुमचा ड्राय किंवा काय म्हणतो वेट हात असेल त्याचाच द्यायचा त्या हातात, बरोबर का. सो दॅट विल बी व्हेरी डिफिकल्ट अँड वी हॅव टू कन्सिडर. ओके, म्हणजे these factors are also very important while communication. Is it right? Personal appearance, definitely that should be we have to consider. Whatever you are, what is your behavior, okay, what is your nature, okay, how we are effective. Now all the factors is included in the non-verbal communication. Is it right? And silence, okay, silence is also very important in today's life. Okay, we can say that I think Ravi Shankar Maharaj or whatever the Vishwanath Karade, MIT. Okay, you might be knowing. So what is or you can say that Sant Jnaneshwar Maharaj. They have given only one mantra. Okay, silence. शांती पाहिजे मनाला जिथं जाईल तिथं. ओके, नाहीतर उगाच कुत्रं मागं लागल्यासारखं. हां, so that should not be there. Is it right? So silence is also very important while communication. ओके, नाही बडबड 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 करत बसायचं उगाच विनाकारण. हां, सो किंवा वॉट एव्हर द युअर माइंड कंट्रोल. ओके, मन बघा, आपलं मन सगळ्यात जगात सगळ्यात फास्ट कोण आहे तर मन आहे. ओके, एका क्षणात कुठं पाहिजे तिथे जाऊन येते. सो वी हॅव टू कंट्रोल दॅट माइंड ऑल्सो. इज इट राईट? whenever you will control your mind, definitely silence will be automatically there. Is it right? So that factors in non-verbal communications are very very important. Is it right? So we will discuss whatever the management language. Okay, आता हे सगळं आपल्या भाषेत सांगितलं आपण. So in management language, what is expected for the examination? What are the expectation? जागी बोला. Wait, so written communication, which points are there? Provide with records, references. Okay, why written communication is required? Now basic importance of written communication is to keep a record. ओके, आता एखाद्याला काम सांगितलं तुम्ही, त्यानं कामच केलं नाही, ओके, तुम्हाला मला सांगितलं नव्हतं, झालं बोंबला, काय करणार पुन्हा? सो टू टेक proof of the entire work, written communication is allowed. Is it right? So we are sending messages from WhatsApp group, we are sending notices, okay, to student. So what is the basic requirement of that notices? किंवा आता व्हॉट्सअपवर मेसेज टाकतोय मी तुम्हाला, दिस इज नथिंग बट द प्रूफ. ओके, नाहीतर मीटिंगमध्ये पण मेसेज सांगतोच ना आपण. Okay, so while written communication, why provided with the records and the references? Okay, for to keep the record, to keep the proof. So for that purpose, written communication is very important. So as a manager, we have to consider, we have to think on that in future. Okay, whatever work we are doing, okay, that work should be on paper. ओके, म्हणजे तुम्ही जे काम करत असाल इंडस्ट्रीमध्ये किंवा ऑर्गनायझेशनमध्ये, दॅट शुड बी ऑन पेपर ऑर वॉट एव्हर द रेकॉर्ड ऑफ इच अँड एव्हरी वर्क शुड बी विथ यू. ओके, फॉर युअर पर्सनल ग्रोथ, परफॉर्मन्स अप्रायझल. इज इट राईट? सो दॅट फॅक्टर्स ऑल्सो व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट. ओके, सो कीपिंग रेकॉर्ड, कीपिंग रेफरन्सेस, is it right? So this is nothing but the written communication. The message is carefully prepared and directed to the large audience in mass way. Definitely we can say that, suppose we are writing one message and sending WhatsApp group or sending on social media, so number of people will get that message within fraction of second. Is it right? So this will also very important. Suppose we can say that if social media was not there, okay, if social media will not be there, suppose any communication media will not be there, okay, we can say that, so previous decade we can say that, okay, पूर्वी काय होता, रेडिओ होता, टीव्ही असायचा. ओके, सो व्हॉट विल द कम्युनिकेशन प्रोसेस, गव्हर्नमेंट रूल असेल, रेग्युलेशन असेल, तर ते पोहोचणार कसं लोकांपर्यंत? ओके, किंवा तुम्ही बघा, कोणाला मेसेज करायचा असेल, ज्यावेळेस फोन नव्हते, तर काय करायचे, 8-8, 10-10 दिवसांनी मेसेज पोचायचे. ओके, एखाद्याला जर कोणाला सांगितलं, एखादं कोण गेला का माणूस, तर ते काय 10व्याला येणार त्याच्या. ओके, सो दॅट वॉज हॅपन. ओके, म्हणजे असं पूर्वी असायचं, बरोबर का? लागणार बोलले एखादं बारशालाच येणार. इज इट राईट? सो दॅट वॉज देअर. ओके, बट टुडे विथ द हेल्प ऑफ communication media, is it right? So different message we can give to the large number of audience or in mass way. Okay, so this is also importance and benefit of the written communication. Now it promote uniformity in policy and procedure. Definitely entire message, whole message we can reach up to each and every person. ओके, म्हणजे 1000 लोक बसले, त्यांना बोलताना समजा, सपोज आय हॅव गिवन 15 minute lecture to them. Is it right? So whether each and everyone will get all the 50 minutes points, okay, might be different. कोण 5 मिनिट ऐकेल, कोणाला खाली मुंगळा चावाला असेल, कोण शेजाराला टोकत बसेल असेल, कोण गप्पा मारत बसत असेल. Is it right? But whenever you will provide the written, definitely 100% message will reach to them. Is it right? So this is the benefit of the written communication. Some drawback is that may expressed in improper way by effective writer. Okay, now written communication is also based on the writer. Okay, now how we can classify them? Okay, suppose we can suppose you have to write one answer, okay, of one something question. Okay, if you consider in book, okay, एका पुस्तकामध्ये ते आन्सर असेल तर वे प्रॉपर वे असेल. ओके, आणि ते जरा तुम्हाला लिहायला सांगा आन्सर, आहेत का जागे सगळे? म्हणजे काय सगळ्यांचं एक असेल का? नाही, राईट. काय लिहिलं ते आता तुम्हाला ते लिहिणाऱ्याला पण कळत नाही आपल्यातलं. ओके, सो दॅट इज अ ड्रॉबॅक ऑफ द रिटन कम्युनिकेशन. ओके, सो आय विल नॉट ब्लेम ऑन यू, पण करा विचार थोडा. ठीक आहे, ड्रॉबॅक इज दॅट मे बी एक्सप्रेस्ड in improper way by effective writer. Okay, so this is also based on the writer's effectiveness. Okay, so this is a written communication drawback. Also may take a long time to access whether message is properly understood or not. Is it right? Now we are providing message or written communication, okay, but that should be read by that particular person and that should be understood. Is right? without any understanding they will not getting idea what they have written. ओके, आता तुम्ही लिहिणार बघा, तुम्ही हाय लँग्वेजमध्ये आपण काय करतो नेहमी सोपी लँग्वेज बघायला बघतो. ओके, suppose if you I have given one task to you, so read the research paper. Okay, this is the management language, yeah? So that will be somewhat difficult. Okay, and read one novel. Okay, so this is a difference. Okay, now also that written communication may take a long time, okay, to understand, to understood the whatever the written in that inside that particular message. Okay, so access whether message is properly understood or not. Okay, so this is a drawback of that written communication. Okay, so we have to overcome that drawback also. Okay, so next is oral communication. Okay, oral communication is nothing but the face to face. Okay, face to face communication or meeting, brainstorming, okay, group discussion. This is nothing but the oral communication. Manager presentation to large audience, this is also oral communication. Okay, suppose if any meeting is there or any conference is there, so right, so that will be considered in oral communication. Manager presenting to large audience. Next काय, speedy in charge of message with immediate feedback. Definitely. Why? This is a very whatever communication speed is high. Why? Because we are discussing our communication मध्ये is directly. म्हणजे एखादा म्हणून आवाज येत नाही म्हणणार मधूनच, बरोबर का, किंवा एखादा मला समजलं नाही म्हणणार. सो immediate feedback is there. Okay, so this oral communication is very important while whenever the immediate feedback is required. Okay, so this is a very important and basic benefit of the oral communication. Is it right? So speedy interchange to message with immediate feedback. Whenever you will get the feedback with immediate effect, that speaker will change or that speaker will clear that whatever the doubt. Okay, so this is also important of speedy communication, we can say that. Meeting are sudden or planned, so provides great contribution to the understand issue. Definitely, whenever you will schedule the meeting, okay, any meeting, so you will ready whatever the point we have to discuss, what doubt we have to ask. Okay, so we will get that some time, we will get some directly time, and definitely directly without wasting as like written communication. Okay, what will happen in written communication? Suppose any doubt is there, you have to write letter. Okay, so they have to read that letter, and again they have to read write whatever the answer they have to send to you, again you have to read that. Okay, so this is a very huge process. But whenever the face to face communication will be there, definitely directly feedback will get and directly doubt will clear. Okay, so again we can plan meetings also, okay, to understand the issues, whatever the great contribution inside that organization or inside that communication process. Okay, costly in terms of time and money. Why? Oral communication drawback is costly in terms of time and money. Why? Because suppose if you require face to face communication, you have to travel. Okay, first of all traveling, your time may be waste in traveling. Is it right? Money. Why? Because suppose face to face communication is required, suppose there will be meeting area is required. Okay, suppose number of audience will be maximum, definitely mic system or sound system may be required. Is it right? So whatever all the money, whatever the time will also increase in oral communication. Okay, but in written communication that will be only time will require maximum, but money will not be required. Why? Because of transportation or traveling charges, whatever the that auditorium or whatever the meeting room charges will be reduced. Is it right? So this is all about oral communication. Okay, and non-oral communication, managers effectively lead other employees and team members. Definitely this is a requirement, and we can say that the duty of that manager. So team members to communicate information to individuals inside outside the business, clients, competitors or colleagues. So this is also role of that team member, or we can say that subordinates, okay, to communicate the whatever the information given by manager, okay, to individuals or a group of people. So they have to discuss with clients, okay, colleagues, competitors. So this will be considered in the non-verbal communication. What are the importance? Powerful, express inner feelings, meeting attention. Now, non-verbal, as we discussed in last slide, what are the benefits or which point should be considered in a non-verbal communication? Match your roll number, all of you. आहेत का जागे? Am I audible? आहेत. Okay. लगे लक्षात येतं बा किती जागेत. बाकी कुठे गेले आता? ठीक आहे. Okay, so non-verbal communication. Now importance powerful. Now this is a very powerful. Why? Because directly we can say that that points are very important to read that people. Okay, powerful, express inner feeling definitely. Okay, according to his face expression. Okay, we can get whatever the idea. म्हणजे ट्राय एखादा जर समजा खुशखबर द्यायची असेल तुम्हाला तर तो त्याचा फेस तुम्हाला लगेच लक्षात येतो. आणि काहीतरी कार्यक्रम असेल, काम लावायचं असेल जास्त, so definitely according to the face feeling or whatever the his expression on face, okay, we can get idea. That will also included in the non-verbal communication. Create first impression business interviews. Okay, and this is nothing but the example business interview. Create first expression. Okay, so already in management language we can say that the first impression is the light impression, last impression. Okay, so according to this, so whatever the impression will be, or impression will take a more role in the non-verbal communication. Okay, whenever you will face any interview or business interview or academic interview or any job interview, okay, or any promotional interview, is it right? Any we can say the expired retirement interview, is it right? So all the factors is a very important while communication media or non-verbal communication. Okay, first impression, create first impression. Cultural difference, cracking deals. Cultural differences is nothing but from where culture or which background where came here. Okay, so that will also take a role. Is it right? तुम्ही बघा फॉर एक्झाम्पल what is your body language, what is your language. Okay, so according to that we can consider that, or we can get idea from this person is from which culture. Is it right? किंवा जे काय म्हणतो आपण त्याला बघा, आता रिलीजन वगैरे काय म्हणायची गरज नाही, पण एरिया वाईज बोलू आपण. ओके, सपोज फॉर एक्झाम्पल मराठवाड्याचे लोक असतील, ओके, तर त्यांचे बोलणं कसं आहे, म्हणजे जास्त जरा मऊ बोलतात ते, बरोबर का. आपले कसे आहेत, सोलापूर भाग जिल्हा दगड फेकून मारल्यासारखं, बरोबर का. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू युअर कल्चरल डिफरन्स, म्हणजे आपल्या सरळ बोलायची काय भानगडच नाही. ओके, तेच तुम्ही जरा वर जावा नॉर्थ साईडला. ओके, नॉर्थ साईडला जरी तुम्ही गेला तर पुन्हा जर अजून आपल्यापेक्षा कडक होत जातात लोक, आणि साऊथला गेला तर अजून मऊ होत जातात. इज इट राईट? म्हणजे आपल्या खाली काय इकडं साऊथला तर सोलापूर, कोल्हापूर साईड असेल, सांगली, म्हणजे थोडी लोक मवाळ होत जातात. ओके, सो दॅट विल बी ऑल्सो अकॉर्डिंग टू कल्चर. ओके, सो while cracking the deals, okay, suppose you are working in any organization, you have to crack the deal, so we have to consider according to your cultural difference. Okay, so you will get benefit of that also in non-verbal communication. So this is also very important factor, or cultural differences is also we have to think on that. Okay. Okay, now next, genuine can be controlled easily. Okay, genuine in the sense whatever the we can say that the काय म्हणतो त्याला आपण जेन्युइन, काय जेन्युइनला दुसरा शब्द काय घ्यायचा आपण, ज्याला आपण काय म्हणतो ट्रू, ट्रू वी कॅन से दॅट ट्रू कांट बी कंट्रोल इझिली. ओके, म्हणजे नॉन व्हर्बल मध्ये काय खोटं बोलू शकत नाही डायरेक्ट माणूस. ओके, म्हणजे तो एक खोटं बोलला तर त्याच्या एक्सप्रेशन न करणार आहे, खरं बोलत असेल तर एक्सप्रेशन वरून करणार आहे. नाव जेन्युइन रिझन आर वॉट एव्हर द ट्रूनेस ऑफ दॅट पर्टिक्युलर communication will get idea. Okay, so can't be controlled easily, okay, in non-verbal communication. Now interpretation of message, eye contact or facial expression. Okay, already we have discussed that point. So according to एवढे लवकर येत जाऊ नका रे, छोटे छोटे येतात काय. ओके, सो आय विल शो हाऊ आय एम टेकिंग अटेंडन्स. तुमची तुम्ही किती वेळ अटेंड केलं हे पण माझ्याकडे रेकॉर्ड राहते. ओके, बट आय एम नॉट टेकिंग दॅट मच सिरियस. ओके, 38 आहेत आज. हां, सो वी विल कम्प्लीट दॅट फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल. Interpretation of messages. Okay, eye contact or facial expression. Definitely, with the help of eye contact, facial expressions, we can get idea in non-verbal communication. Is it right? Now here the communication part is over. Okay, so next part is, or last part is, or last manager function is the controlling. Okay, so we will require only one lecture or two lecture to finish that chapter again. And again 4 lectures, within 5 or 6 lecture our first section will complete. Okay, so think on that. Today's lecture is I think 20 lecture. Okay, how many lectures you have attended? What is your attendance? So you have to use whatever and you can say that this is your last semester. Okay, in next year we will not, we all are not available to you. Okay, because you are busy in again. So as this is the last semester, you have to take a benefit. Is it right? And definitely your career or whatever your personal behavior also will change with the help of such like subjects. Okay, so this is a very important subject. Is it right? If any doubt is there, you can ask me. So we will start the controlling part in next lecture. Fresh. So what we have discussed today, we will take a revision within 2 minutes. Only communication we have taken in this lecture. Communication process we have discussed. Okay, there are 4 plus 2 factors. Okay, first encoding, medium of transmission, decoding and feedback, and second 2 types is sender and receiver. Okay, so while communication, these points are very important. Now there are 3 modes of communication: upward, downward, horizontal and diagonal. Now types of communication, basic 3 types: written communication, oral communication and non-verbal communication. Okay, in oral communication, speaking, listening; written, writing, reading; and non-verbal, facial expression, gesture, body language, proximity, touch, personal appearance, silence. So that factors also we have to consider while doing communication in any organization. Point we have discussed in written communication, oral communication and non-verbal communication. Is it right? So if any doubt is there, okay, you can ask me. And again we will stop here. Okay, so next part is the controlling. So we will start controlling in next lecture. Okay. So